How are y'all doing?
Hey there.
So, we are coming to you today with a slightly different topic than ones we've discussed previously.
Yeah.
We're going to share a little bit with you about this mysterious trip we've made mention to a couple of times. So,
For those fans willing to go back throughout the episodes for Easter eggs.
yes. Yeah, so we thought we would just make a little video of us talking about this trip.
What we're doing. Yeah.
What we're doing, why we're doing it.
Yeah. So the rough framework of what is happening is that Biz and I are going to be embarking on a cross-country journey. We're going to zig, we're going to zag, we're going to see as much of this beautiful country as possible in the course of about 9 months is our goal. So leave February right at the beginning, to come back right around the beginning of September. And so with that in mind, we have a lot of feelings about why we're doing it. We have a lot of feelings about what we're going to be doing on the trip, how we'd like to be spending our time. But that's the real kind of framework that we're looking at and working on.
Well, and even in this moment, I realized it's till the end of September.
Yeah, I guess that's
for
true.
it to be 9 months.
That's true.
So thanks for helping us work that out.
I feel great.
So the thing that's interesting for me, at least about the path, if you don't mind me,
No, please.
the loose path that has been forming was really just the result of putting dots where we knew people in the country, people who we feel pretty connected to in a way that we could stop in and spend a little time with them. And so then we just connected those dots.
And found as many cool places in between as we possibly could to try to fill out some of our ideas for where to stop.
Mm-hmm. So there's a few legs of the trip, but are we talking about that quite yet?
Well, I think we're starting with discussion of the first leg first,
Okay,
which is
great.
down the East Coast, making its way eventually from the Boston area to New Orleans. And that's our, the bottom of the first leg down the East Coast of the country. And that is a leg we're really looking forward to trying to meet a lot of people, trying to work, I think for me at least, work in settings that we normally would not get the opportunity to work in, with communities and people who we wouldn't normally be able to work with in Vermont, and even the Northeast in a lot of instances as we travel to different bioregions and meet different people doing hopefully similar work to us. Because I think that's kind of the craziest thing about some of the realities of as we start to talk about this trip, what we've been hearing a lot of. So,
Do we talk a little bit about what we do?
that's an interesting
I feel
point.
like you might, at this point, clearly
totally.
part of what we do is make YouTube videos and talk about a variety of topics. I think from those of you who have been watching those and know us through those videos know that movement plays a big role and practice and things like that. But as far as describing our work individually and together, maybe we can discuss that a little bit, and I'm happy to say a little bit about that.
Why don't you start out?
So basically, I think I shared in my intro video that I have a degree in dance movement therapy and counseling, and for the last 10 years I've been trying to figure out what I do with that degree and that experience. And at first really had isolated myself around the literal decision that I could become a dance movement therapist, which I could have done, but 10 years later I did not do. And this year, as I mentioned, have drawn together a lot of different interests. And so a lot of what I do, I more so connect to my understanding and knowledge of shamanism, in the sense that I have a lot of conversations with people. I do verbal kind of processing sessions with people, but within that and around that has been creating daily practice and ritual with folks, and through that examining people's values, and what they're seeking, what they're longing for in life. And a lot of the ways in which I encourage people to explore that element of themselves is through arts and creativity, and finding an outlet to, as freely as possible, which is a practice and an exercise in and of itself, express themselves to a certain extent so that they can see themselves reflected back in different ways, different than the cognitive way in which we maybe understand ourselves or have kind of created a sense of ourselves that is purposeful and useful in our lives, but maybe not completely nourishing or satisfying. I don't think I've ever described my work quite like that.
And I, obviously, as I talked about in my intro video, come at the world almost the polar opposite of Biz. Very little formal education in anything. And most of what I have learned has been as a result of apprenticeship and studying the way things have been done historically and the different ways that we have done things throughout history. And as a result, I probably think a lot more in my work day to day than I let on as a result of that. I move a lot. I work with people's bodies, doing body work, doing coaching, in terms of physical movement, skill-based coaching, that sort of stuff, as well as kind of more rehabilitation and restorative movement-based sessions. But a lot of what I try to do is be thinking about how to make myself obsolete, how to make people step into an environment where they can start writing the story of their own progress. And so as I have done that over the years, I have really learned that the best way to elicit some of these changes are to communicate in the way that I learned how to communicate, which was through education, which was being a martial arts teacher, being a movement teacher, all that sort of stuff. And so I try to come at this work as giving someone access to the tools that they need so that they can make all the changes needed for them to kind of live their best lives, and kind of believe in them more than anyone else, maybe in the process, that they can do that. And so, as we go forward and kind of share our individual modalities, we have slowly started to weave together the psycho and somatic aspects of our individual work to create kind of more tandem work, which has been really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a little bit about what we do. And I think we are finding and utilizing the trip as a way of discovering more ways that we can work together with people in different ways and with communities in different ways and in collaboration with other people, which partly motivates our desire to meet those people and connect with them and find the ways that we can support each other.
Yeah, and a big part of our explicitly stated mission with the YouTube channel already has been to try to share work of other people that we really like. And the goal of a trip like this is, in a lot of instances, to come across people who let us shut up, people who are doing all the awesome things that I think need to be done in this time, and how we can say, hey, that's awesome. How do we support you? How do we assist, if possible, in giving a platform, if we're able to build one, to people who might not have a platform,
Mm-hmm.
or collaboratively share space with people who are doing similar work and want to share in that sort of energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the work that I've been interested in is, giving voice to the things that I think matter, but also in that way encountering people who have voices that I really hear strongly and recognize matter at this time, and wanting to support their voice in, like you said, having a platform and being loud enough and being heard in whatever ways I can help cultivate that opportunity in that environment. Because I don't feel as though I'm saying anything super profound half the time. So like you said, if somebody else is saying it, and certainly if they're saying it from a perspective that holds a level of integrity, that has the ability to make for real change, I'm not interested in being the star of the show. And so that's where being on YouTube has been vulnerable, but I know offers me the opportunity to connect with those other folks. So I got to be a little bit out there. I got to be a little bit out of my comfort zone. To follow through. So.
Right on. And so, I guess maybe we'll leave it there, or do we want to? I think we're going to leave it there with our conversation on the trip, but we are going to say, or tease, right after the holidays, on 01/01/2020, we are going to fully launch the infrastructure of the trip, and we'll hopefully have a website and a Patreon and a Discord chat room and a bunch of other crazy things that will hopefully help us to begin to form kind of what we hope will be the coolest trip we could ever imagine taking with y'all.
And all that being said, if you are interested in any of what we've said thus far and anything that we've said in this video, and hear the words Patreon, YouTube, Discord, and have any level of experience in those realms and want to talk about it, we would be really excited. That all feels like a new realm, even though I have experience in social media, which is changing all the time. These platforms are new to me, and I'm excited. So if anybody's already using them, it'd be cool to chat. So thank you so much for listening, and we're excited to share more soon.
Thanks.